Hey, warrior. Let me tell you something most people never figure out until it's too late. While you're out here trying to be the good person, someone else, someone far less deserving, is quietly taking the opportunities you thought life would hand you just for being kind. While you're waiting for fairness, someone else is rewriting the rules. And while you're hoping people notice your effort, someone else is manipulating the board so you never even make it into the game. The world isn't a playground where good people automatically win. It's a psychological battlefield where the bold, the aware, and the strategically sharp rise, while the naive get crushed without even knowing they were in a fight. And right now, someone is using strategies you've never even considered to move ahead of you. Not because they're smarter, not because they're better, but because they understand a truth you've probably avoided your whole life. Power isn't given. Respect isn't earned through kindness alone. And nothing in this world goes to the deserving. It goes to the prepared. You might think you're playing life fairly, but fairness is not a rule of the game. It's a story told to keep you obedient, while others bend reality to their advantage. Look around you. The loudest person gets attention. The most confident person gets opportunities. And the one who understands human nature, truly understands it, gets everything they want. And today, I'm going to walk you through that understanding. 8 strategies, 8 psychological power laws, not the soft, motivational nonsense you've been fed. These are the dark strategies, the ones used by leaders, manipulators, influencers, CEOs, kings, and anyone who has ever dominated a room without raising their voice. These aren't immoral. They're not cruel. They're simply real. These are the rules of a world that rewards strength, presence, strategy, and perception, not purity, not effort, not niceness. But before we start, I want you to draw a line in the sand. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose power over pity. Because that's the shift you're about to make. Let's begin. 1. Society has hidden rules, and you've been playing by the fake ones. From the day you were born, you were taught a script. Work hard, be honest, be fair, treat everyone kindly, and things will magically work out. But those rules weren't written to help you win. They were written to keep most people predictable, obedient, and easy to control. Behind that polite surface, a second rulebook exists. The one powerful people follow. Here's what's in it. People respect strength more than kindness. People follow confidence more than competence. People reward those who make them feel, not those who do everything right. And here's the dark twist. They will punish you for being too honest if that honesty makes them uncomfortable. Think about your workplace. Who rises faster, the hardest worker, or the person who knows how to flatter the boss? Who gets promoted, the one with skill, or the one with presence? Who gets influenced, the reliable one, or the charismatic one? Every group has a hierarchy, even your friend circle. Someone sets the tone. Someone dictates the energy. Someone others quietly defer to. And if you can't identify who that person is, it's because it isn't you. Successful people understand a basic truth. Life is not a meritocracy. It's a perception game. Your reputation, what people think you are, is more valuable than your actual character. You may be talented, brilliant, and disciplined, but if no one perceives you that way, your reality won't matter. You've been trying to be a good person. Meanwhile, others have been working on something far more effective. Appearing powerful, competent, confident, and unshakable. Your first step toward real advantage? Stop expecting the world to be fair. Start paying attention to how it really works. 2. Build yourself strategically. Not emotionally. Most people chase self-improvement like it's a hobby. They read books to feel smart. They hit the gym to feel disciplined. They meditate to feel calm. But powerful people don't improve themselves to feel anything. They improve themselves to gain leverage. Every skill, every upgrade, every new habit should serve one purpose: increasing your ability to get what you want. If it doesn't make you stronger, sharper, more effective, more respected, or harder to manipulate, it's just entertainment disguised as growth. Strategic improvement is not about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about becoming the version that wins in the real world. Sometimes that requires being less accommodating. Sometimes that requires being more calculating. Sometimes that requires choosing effectiveness over authenticity. You're not here to be harmless. You're here to be capable. So identify 3 areas right now that would give you more power if you mastered them. Cut out everything else. Your time is finite. Your competitors aren't waiting. 3. Build self-esteem through dominance, not validation. Your self-esteem is under attack every single day, whether you notice it or not. Social media shows you people living better lives. Your boss treats you like you're replaceable. Your friends question your choices. Society broadcasts one message: you're not enough unless you buy, look, act, or achieve something else. So, what do most people do? They chase validation. They post photos hoping for likes. They overextend themselves hoping for approval. They say yes to avoid disappointing anyone. But validation is quicksand. The moment someone stops feeding your ego, your confidence collapses. Machiavelli would call this the most fragile form of self-esteem, the kind built on begging. Real confidence comes from a different place entirely: self-command. Not the fluffy, love yourself Instagram version. The ruthless version grounded in performance, discipline, and integrity with yourself. You build this by winning small battles with your own mind, keeping promises you make to yourself, setting standards and enforcing them, refusing to ask for opinions you don't need, trusting your own judgment without requiring permission. This is how you begin stacking evidence, proof that you can rely on yourself, that you can withstand pressure, that you can overcome obstacles. And here's the brutal truth. Sometimes real self-esteem requires disappointing people. Sometimes it means people won't like you. Sometimes it means walking away. Sometimes it means choosing your purpose over their comfort. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Apply that inwardly. It is better to respect yourself through discipline than to love yourself through empty affirmations. You don't need anyone to validate you. You need proof. Proof you created with action, not applause. 4. Think strategically, always 3 moves ahead. Most people react. Strategic thinkers anticipate. And that difference separates winners from everyone else. While the average person obsesses over what's happening right now, the strategic person asks one question: then what? You get a job offer, then what? You start dating someone, then what? You argue with someone, then what? Most people stop at the immediate moment. Strategic thinkers trace the consequences further, 3, 4, even 5 steps ahead. They consider how others will respond, who gains or loses power, which options open and which close, what threats or opportunities emerge later. It's not paranoia, it's preparation. Look at any situation in your life. Chances are, it blew up because you reacted too fast or too late. Strategic thinkers move early when they still have the most options. Machiavelli put it simply: the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Before you make any big decision, write down 3 possible outcomes. Plan for each. Prepare leverage for each. You'll stop being blindsided. You'll stop being manipulated. You'll stop getting trapped in corners others designed for you. Once you think a few steps ahead, people will swear you're psychic. You're not. You're simply prepared. 5. Build unbreakable inner strength. Physical strength is simple. Mental strength is savage. Anyone can lift weights or sprint. But staying calm when everything is falling apart, that's real power. Most people crumble under pressure because their strength depends on external stability. Good weather, supportive friends, routine, control. The moment something disrupts their environment, their confidence evaporates. Machiavelli would call that borrowed strength, the kind you only possess when life behaves. True strength comes from this formula: exposure, survival, confidence. Every scary thing you do and survive makes you stronger. Every challenge you overcome despite doubt builds resilience. Every difficult decision you make and stand by multiplies your inner steel. Strong people don't avoid difficulties. They seek discomfort because it shapes them. They know that every small hardship faced alone becomes protection against a future crisis. Machiavelli wrote, "Every man who attacks my state is my enemy. Your state is your mind, your foundation." Every time you give in to weakness, you're attacking your own state. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you weaken your defenses. Stop looking for easy paths. Start training yourself to walk the harder ones. Chaos becomes less threatening when you've lived through it before and survived. 6. Master psychological dominance without aggression. People misunderstand dominance. They think it's yelling, threatening, or being intimidating. That's not dominance. That's insecurity in a costume. Real power. What Machiavelli respected is silent, calm, and internal. People defer to you not because you force them, but because your energy makes resistance feel pointless. It begins with presence. You stand tall. You move slowly, decisively. Your voice is steady. Your eyes don't flicker or fidget. You speak clearly without apologizing. Your body says, "I belong here," before your voice opens its mouth. Then comes mental dominance. Remaining calm while others panic. Making clearer decisions than anyone else. Showing emotional control when others are reactive. Following through every time you say you will. People start assuming your competence. They begin deferring to you without thinking. Your presence creates order. But here's the deeper layer. Dominance is built on boundaries. You don't argue with people acting in bad faith. You don't negotiate with disrespect. You don't explain yourself to people who haven't earned that privilege. You remove access, not with anger, but with clarity. Cross a boundary, the door closes. People quickly learn that testing you comes with consequences, not revenge, not punishment, just natural loss of access. This is modern Machiavellian power. Controlled, measured, undeniable. 7. Develop magnetic confidence that pulls power toward you. Most people mistake confidence for loudness, or bravado, or inflated self-belief. But magnetic confidence, the kind that makes people follow you, trust you, and rearrange themselves around your presence, is something different. Defensive confidence says, "Please believe I can do this." Magnetic confidence says, "Here's how we're going to do this." Defensive confidence seeks reassurance. Magnetic confidence gives direction. And here's the part that shocks most people. You don't build magnetic confidence by hyping yourself up. You build it by creating evidence. Every task you complete, every boundary you enforce, every challenge you face, builds a library of proof that you can rely on yourself. That proof becomes your confidence. Your confidence then becomes your presence. Your presence becomes your influence. And eventually, Your influence becomes the force that pulls opportunities, allies, and respect towards you effortlessly. But there's a higher level most never reach. Magnetic confidence also comes from admitting what you don't know. A man who pretends to know everything is insecure. A man who's comfortable saying, "I'll figure it out," intimidates people because he's grounded, unshaken, and real. Machiavelli observed this in rulers throughout history. Their intelligence wasn't measured by what they knew, but by who they surrounded themselves with. Confident people attract strong allies because they aren't threatened by strength, and they earn loyalty because their belief in themselves is rooted in truth, not performance. Stop trying to convince people you're confident. Start building the track record that makes confidence inevitable. 8. Master the ultimate power move. Strategic silence. You live in a world where everyone is fighting to be heard, shouting opinions, explaining themselves, oversharing, defending, performing. Silence has become rare, and rare is powerful. Silence is not absence. Silence is pressure. Silence is uncertainty. Silence is strategy. Most people fear silence because silence reveals them. Their insecurities, their impulsiveness, their need for validation, their emotional instability. But when you master silence, here's what happens. You force others to reveal themselves. Someone asks a question you don't want to answer. Pause. Hold eye contact. They'll either backpedal or over-explain. Someone insults you? Don't react. Go still. Suddenly they look insecure. In negotiations, the first person to speak after the offer loses leverage. In conflict, the calmest person owns the room. In relationships, the listener, not the talker, learns everything. And when it comes to goals, silence protects you. Don't announce your plans. Just execute them. Don't justify your decisions. Let the results speak. Don't narrate your life. Build it. Machiavelli wrote, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." Strategic silence is dangerous because people can't read you. They can't predict you. They can't control you. And when people can't control you, they respect you whether they admit it or not. Start speaking less. Start observing more. Start choosing your moments. When your words become rare, they become valuable. You now see the world as it is, not how you were told it should be. Let's recap the 8 truths you've unlocked. 1. Society runs on hidden rules. Stop playing by the fake ones. 2. Strategic self-improvement beats feel-good improvement. Build skills that give you power. 3. Real self-esteem comes from self-command, not validation. Your actions create your confidence. 4. Think 3 moves ahead. Strategy beats reaction every time. 5. Inner strength is built through exposure, discomfort, and survival. Train your mind, not just your muscles. 6. Dominance comes from control, not aggression. Presence, boundaries, and clarity create authority. 7. Magnetic confidence pulls power toward you. Evidence beats ego. 8. Silence is the final power move. Use it to protect, observe, and influence. Most people will never understand these truths. They'll keep believing life is fair. They'll keep hoping goodness is rewarded. They'll keep playing checkers in a chess world. But not you. Now you see the patterns. Now you understand human nature. Now you have the psychological tools to stop being outmaneuvered by people who aren't smarter, just more strategic. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming someone more effective. Someone who understands the rules of the game. Someone who can see through smiles, narratives, manipulation, and illusions. Someone who walks with presence instead of permission. And here's the key. Knowledge without action is entertainment. Action transforms you. So choose one of the 8 strategies and implement it this week. Not next month, not later, not when you feel ready. Now, because the world isn't waiting. Your competitors aren't waiting. Life isn't pausing for you to catch up. You're either playing the game intelligently or being played without realizing it. The game is happening with or without your permission. The only question is, are you going to be a pawn or a player? Warrior. Now that you understand the 8 psychological strategies, we need to go deeper into application, integration, and transformation. Because knowing these principles isn't enough. Anyone can understand power. Very few can live it. This part of your evolution is about shifting from awareness to embodiment. Becoming the kind of person whose presence alone communicates strength, whose silence recalibrates a room, and whose decisions create momentum in your favor. This is where you stop admiring power and start embodying it. Let's break down how each principle fuses into your behavior, your routines, and your identity. Because strategy doesn't work unless it becomes instinct. The shift from reaction to calculation. Most people live their lives reacting to moods, to comments, to stress, to pressure. A reactive person is easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to use. The strategic person flips the script entirely. Instead of reacting instantly, you start practicing strategic pause. A text irritates you? Wait 10 minutes. Someone tests you? Go still. An opportunity appears. Ask yourself, then what? Every pause creates clarity, and clarity is where power is born. When you slow down internally, you gain leverage externally. People who expect a reaction become uncomfortable. People who expect compliance become cautious. People who expect you to crumble become confused. The pause is your new weapon, your space to choose your move instead of being dragged into someone else's. The art of controlled expression. Powerful people express themselves on their own terms, never impulsively. They speak when speaking increases influence, and they stay quiet when silence increases mystique. Controlled expression means no emotional outbursts, no over-explaining, no nervous rambling, no defending yourself to people who don't matter, no volunteering too much information. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you unreadable and therefore respected. Remember this truth. The more people know about you, the more angles they have to attack you. The less they know, the more they fear misstepping. Your silence becomes a mirror that forces people to confront their own assumptions. And assumptions always reveal more about them than about you. The power of calibrated presence. Presence is not about being everywhere. Presence is about being felt when you choose to appear. That means your availability becomes selective, not reactive. You stop replying instantly. You stop attending everything. You stop showing up for people who drain you. You stop making yourself accessible 24/7. Scarcity creates value. Controlled exposure creates mystique. Selective presence creates influence. When you walk into a room after a period of intentional absence, people feel the shift. They turn their attention. They read your face. They watch your energy. And suddenly, your presence weighs more. This is how kings walk. This is how leaders command. This is how the powerful move without shouting. Internal power before external influence. Before you can influence others, you must dominate your inner world. Machiavelli understood this. A man who can't command himself can never command situations, outcomes, or people. Internal power means you don't flinch under pressure. You don't rush decisions to reduce anxiety. You don't crumble when plans shift. You don't seek reassurance. You don't allow emotions to dictate behavior. This is emotional sovereignty. You become your own anchor, not the world's puppet. And when people see a man who cannot be easily shaken, they instinctively adjust around him. Humans are wired to follow stability. They recognize someone who is immune to chaos because it makes them feel safe, even if they don't admit it. The subtle art of withdrawal. Withdrawal is not weakness. Withdrawal is repositioning. Withdrawal is recalibration. There is nothing more psychologically jarring to people than a sudden shift in your energy. When you stop giving them immediate access, when your warmth cools, when your presence becomes uncertain. Machiavelli mastered this. Strategists master this. Now you will too. You withdraw. When someone crosses a boundary, when someone takes you for granted, when someone tries to dominate you, when someone misreads your kindness as weakness. You do not lash out. You do not argue. You do not explain. You disappear just enough for them to feel the vacuum, for them to question themselves, for them to wonder what they did wrong, for them to realize your energy was a privilege. Withdrawal is how you reclaim power without conflict. The ruthless practice of selective interest. Most people waste their attention on everything: gossip, drama, petty arguments, people who don't deserve their time, tasks that don't serve their goals. Strategic people filter everything. You practice selective interest by asking one question before giving energy to anything. Does this increase or decrease my power? If the answer is no, you withdraw naturally. This applies to conversations, relationships, projects, favors, conflicts, investments. This doesn't make you selfish. It makes you precise. Life is a battlefield of attention. Whoever wastes the least wins the most. Control the frame or lose the game. Frame is the invisible psychological position that determines who leads an interaction. Most people lose frame because they rush to explain. They overreact emotionally, or they fear disapproval. But you will begin controlling the frame through calmness, silence, eye contact, unrushed movements, delayed responses, direct statements without justification. When you own the frame, people fall in line naturally. They match your tone. They adapt to your pace. They follow your emotional state. It's not domination, it's leadership by presence. The reputation you are now building. After applying these principles consistently, people will start describing you in specific ways. He doesn't say much, but when he does, she stays calm no matter what. He's hard to read. She doesn't tolerate nonsense. He's not always around, but when he is, you notice. She never reacts. She chooses. This is the reputation of strategic power. Your words become scarce and valuable. Your presence becomes weighted and respected. Your silence becomes something people fear breaking. Your boundaries become a filter that removes the unworthy. Your energy becomes something people don't want to lose. And eventually, your name enters rooms before you do. This is the transformation Machiavelli described. Not becoming cruel, but becoming effective. Not abandoning virtue, but protecting it with strategy. Not fading into obscurity, but rising into influence through intelligence, presence, and control. Your evolution has begun. Warrior, if you've reached this final part, then something in you has already shifted. You don't see the world through the naive lens you once did. You see the hidden rules, the psychological traps, the power dynamics that explain why some rise and others remain invisible. But understanding is only the beginning. Now you must apply. This last section transforms everything you learned into daily behavior. Small, precise adjustments that stack into unstoppable psychological presence. Let's forge your new operating system. 1. Speak less, influence more. From this moment on, you stop talking to fill silence. You speak only with purpose. Powerful people don't rush their words. They don't overshare. They don't narrate their lives. Your new rules: short sentences, long pauses, no nervous explanations, no rushing to respond, silence before speaking. This instantly raises your perceived intelligence and authority. People lean in when your words become rare, because the quieter you become, the more clearly your presence speaks. 2. Stop explaining yourself. People who defend every action reveal insecurity. People who justify everything reveal guilt. People who over-explain reveal weakness. Starting now, let people misunderstand you. Let assumptions stay uncorrected. Let your decisions stand without debate. Your life doesn't need permission. Your boundaries don't need validation. The moment you stop defending yourself is the moment people stop expecting to question you. 3. Make your presence selective, not constant. Your accessibility has been draining your power. Predictable availability kills respect. You regain influence through scarcity. Respond when you choose, not instantly. Limit access to your time and energy. Leave conversations first. Show up less frequently but more intentionally. When your presence becomes rare, it becomes valuable. When it becomes valuable, it becomes respected. And when it becomes respected, it becomes unforgettable. 4. Control the frame. In every room, frame is the psychological battleground where dominance is decided without a word. You control it through calm tone, slow movements, steady eye contact, unreactive posture, low emotional volatility. When others escalate, you stay centered. When others rush, you slow down. When others panic, you breathe deeper. People instinctively align with whoever controls the emotional tempo. That person will now be you. 5. Choose power over comfort. Most people make decisions based on pleasure, convenience, or fear. You will now decide based on leverage. Ask yourself constantly, does this increase or decrease my power? This eliminates pointless arguments, low-value relationships, draining obligations, emotional traps, activities with no long-term benefit. Comfort gives you peace for a moment. Power gives you control for a lifetime. Choose power. 6. Embrace unpredictability. People can only manipulate predictable men. So you must become a moving target. Say no where you usually say yes. Break your routines occasionally. Respond at unexpected times. Change direction without warning. Stay silent when they expect anger. This doesn't make you chaotic. It makes you ungovernable. People fear what they can't predict. They respect what they can't control. 7. Let absence do the work. Words can't. When people disrespect you, take you for granted, or test you, don't argue. Disappear. Withdraw quietly. Detach emotionally. Remove access. Absence forces others to confront the consequences of losing you. Silence exposes their entitlement. Distance magnifies your value. Your absence will teach lessons your voice never could. 8. Move in silence. Strike without announcement. Announcing your intentions weakens them. Revealing your plans dilutes their impact. From now on, build quietly. Improve privately. Strategize silently. Execute without warning. Let results speak. Let progress appear suddenly. Let people wonder what you're planning. Mystery is power. Surprise is leverage. The final shift. You are no longer reactive, no longer emotionally available on demand, no longer shaped by approval, pressure, or expectation. You are strategic. You are selective. You are intentional. You move differently now because you think differently now. And from this moment on, you choose. Who gets access? Who gets your attention? Who earns your silence? Who earns nothing? Power is not noise. Power is direction. Power is discipline. Power is clarity. And now it belongs to you.